out of the way. Good morning, everyone. If we could kindly ask everyone to please find a seat. We are going to begin our service here shortly.
Good morning, everyone. Just wait a couple minutes here. Get organized. Okay. My name is Lisa Derbyshire, and I have the honor of being your celebrant today as we gather to remember and celebrate the life of Jim Mifflin, or Lefty, as most people knew him. I want to welcome you all here. Thank you for being here today. Thank you also to those who are watching via live stream. At this time, I would like to welcome Mackenzie up to say a few words about her Grandpa Jim.
Okay, we'll see if I get through this. Hello, everyone. I would first like to thank you all for being here on behalf of my family and to pay respects and celebrate the life of my grandfather, Jim Mifflin. I'm going to try and get through this, so if I don't look up, just know it's because I can't. Over the last few days, I've heard many stories and fond memories of my grandpa, and I am so happy to know what a wonderful impression he has left on this world. As many of you know, Grandpa Jim was a kind, caring, and deeply loving individual. For being as tall as he was, his softness was one of his best qualities. Whether it was in his deep, unfaltering love for my grandma, his genuine enthusiasm for anything we dreamed up of as children, or his ability to truly bond with any animal he met, his heart always showed on his sleeve, or lack thereof. Being around my grandpa was always full of adventure. The stories and photos I have seen of his travels with his friends and family always bring a sense of joy to me. Knowing how many people got to make memories with him all over the country, I hope to hear many of those stories in the future, but for now I will share our memories. Cody has a fond memory of going to Ponch's house with Grandpa and getting whatever little pocket knife he had at the time sharpened on the fancy knife sharpener, which was then, of course, given back to young Cody with no regard for what a kid could get up to with a sharp knife. This is why Grandpa was the cool grandparent. He let us get away with pretty well whatever we wanted, like eating McDonald's for lunch in the boat, in the driveway, with the tarp on a hot summer day because we wouldn't take no for an answer. Not that he would have said no anyways. My most fond memories are of the days spent at Point Pelee or on East Beach with Grandpa, pretending we were lost children that he happened to find while wandering the beach. And he went along with it every time. We also would drive down the long winding road into and out of Point Pelee pretending we were being chased by dinosaurs like a T-Rex. And he would hoot and holler and swerve the Oldsmobile or the van, acting right along with us. So, in the spirit of adventure, it is now time for us all to wish him well on the next adventure. one we will all start eventually, one that many of our loved ones have already begun. I know he will find them, and he will give them a big smile. He will greet them with his big, booming voice. And I know that one day he will be there to greet us too when the time comes. Grandpa, we love you. You are irreplaceable, and we will find you again someday. Thank you. I made it. I did it.
So good, so good. When asked about having a funeral, Jim said he didn't really want one. And I wondered if he said that because he was worried it would be one more thing that his family would have to take care of. But as I explained to Dean and Linda, I think it's important to know that funerals are not for the person who died. A funeral is for the people who are left behind, for those who are feeling the absence, for those who are left to pick up the pieces. So today, we are here gathered together in grief, but also in love. Today we might laugh, and we may shed some tears, but that's okay, because tears are just the leftover love you have for your dad, your Grandpa Jim, your brother, your uncle, or for Lefty. Jim, or Lefty, grew up in a small house in Wheatley, and that little home held a big family. Family meant everything to Jim. Vacations were often spent with his siblings and their family. Years ago, when Essex and Kent County used to get lots of snow, if you seen a pack of snowmobiles going through Hillman Marsh, headed towards Jones Side Road, it was probably the Mifflin family heading to the Clark's house. In his younger years, Lefty played baseball with his brother Tucker, and I read this memory that was posted on the funeral home tribute page. It read, "I remember when he walked the bases loaded, then he would strike the next 3 out. This happened more than once. Imagine the other team's excitement of bases loaded, then the pitcher strikes out 3 batters, and the inning's over." Lefty played hockey on the Wheatley Homesteads, then the Wheatley Old Timers, and Beer League. He was a 6'4" defenseman with must have been like a 14-foot reach. Although it appeared that he could be the team's enforcer, he was actually a gentle giant and a terrific teammate. I did hear a story about a young guy who joined the Beer League and thought he would just dangle around this tall old guy defenseman. Turns out, every time he tried to take a shot on net, Lefty's size 14 skates blocked his shot. Jim recently shared with Cody and JC that he met Bonnie in high school. They were in line in the cafeteria, and they literally bumped into each other, knocking the tray she was carrying all over Bonnie. That must have been a memorable first impression, and it may have been the beginning of their life together. Jim and Bonnie both worked at Union Gas. Bonnie started as a line locate lady, then a dispatcher, then moved into working in the office. Jim worked as a service technician. He was a mentor, a hard worker, and often had time for a chat. Jim and Bonnie raised their 2 boys, Rick and Dean. He was a good dad, always there with them at hockey arenas, taking them out boating, fishing, and snowmobiling. Jim was also a loving husband. He always bought Bonnie roses for her birthday and for their anniversary. But it was evident that Jim was deeply loved by Bonnie, as all of her stories started with, does anybody know? Jim and I. I think everyone here has seen the Jim and I camper van. When Bonnie died in 2007, a piece of Jim may have died with her. And since he was retired, and to keep him busy, he started grandpa duties at Dean and Linda's. Linda was working afternoons at the hospital, so Grandpa Jim would get the kids off the school bus every day. Homework wasn't the priority. Because trips to Point Pelee were way more fun. Sometimes Grandpa would accidentally run a red light or drive the roundabout the wrong way. Some of those adventures were a secret, but some things they couldn't hide. Like the time they were at Point Pelee and Mackenzie was walking and chewing on a big piece of ice. Grandpa said, "You better stop chewing on that ice. You might fall and knock your teeth out, and your mom will be mad." Guess what happened? Mackenzie fell, knocked out her tooth, and Grandpa had to break the news to Linda. Luckily, it was a tooth that the dentist was going to pull anyway, so that fall actually saved a bit of money. Grandpa Jim was a fun grandpa, and he enjoyed watching the kids' hockey games and skating carnivals. He loved kids. He taught swimming lessons by throwing kids in the water. Now, that may have been a bit of a controversial style, but I heard it worked. There were also many trips to the north: Lake Nipissing, Sucker Creek Landing, Muskie Bay Camp, and Shuswap. The whole family would be there, including lots of kids. Lefty started a few traditions. I wonder how many of you here today have been involved in any of these. One time he took the kids to a swimming hole and taught them how to eat pinhead minnows. Another time he started to swim towards the island. There he was, swimming the backstroke with all the kids, including some little kids in life jackets, all trying frantically to catch up. This started the tradition of swimming to the island. Grandpa Jim was always the depth tester for the high cliff jumping spot, always doing a dive from 15 to 18 feet to make sure the water was deep enough. If he couldn't reach the bottom, no one could, and it was safe to jump there. One of his favorite things to do was sit around a campfire and drink a beer. Lefty really tried to get the sit around the campfire until sunrise tradition started, but not many people had the stamina. So maybe this summer, one of you will be able to do that. In 1993, Jim and Bonnie hosted an exchange student from Sweden. Nina came to live with them, and they really must have left a lasting impression because she has remained in contact all these years, phoning Jim to check up on everyone. I wonder if she's watching the live stream today. Yeah, hopefully. I stopped over at Dean and Linda's on Monday night to talk about this service, and what struck me most was how close Jim has stayed to his sisters. The last bunch of months, his health didn't allow him, but prior to that, they got together every Saturday night. Sometimes they would cook fish or go out for dinner, and they would play cards. Saturday night cards. Hopefully some of you will continue that tradition. I came across this poem that I would like to read. It's called Lake at Dawn. The misty morning calls again to waters still and deep, where you would greet the rising sun while all the world did sleep. Your boat now rests upon the shore, where once it sliced the dawn, but peace still lives in morning light, though you yourself have gone. In every sunrise on the lake, your spirit still lives free, teaching us to find the peace that you helped all of us see. So when you're sitting by campfire, or fishing, or watching Wheel of Fortune, or Jeopardy, or watching the sunrise, think of Jim and all the wonderful memories you have of him. Today is the beginning of the journey forward. And with this celebration of Jim's life, we have planted the seeds for healing. We can hold on and let go at the same time. We can hold on to Jim's softness, his kindness, his love, and we can let go, releasing him into eternity, lifting him up to the love that is stronger than death. Jim was a gift that has now been returned, and he will be deeply missed. Thank you all for being here today, sending peace and love to each and every one of you.
Thank you. On behalf of the family, I just want to thank you, Lisa, for your beautiful service today. And thank you to each and every one of you for being here today to support the family. I know that they truly appreciate all of your love and support. At this time, we are going to ask everyone to please stand. We are going to be making our way upstairs into our reception room where a lunch has been provided. So please, at this time, if everyone could please stand and follow in behind the family. Thank you.
Choices I've made, I was tempted by an early age. I found I liked drinking, oh, and I never turned it down. There were loved ones, but I turned them all away. Now I'm living and dying with the choices I've made. I've had choices since the day that I was born. There were voices that told me